Guess what? This again, yay! 2016 was probably a good year for gaming, with stuff like Final Fantasy and Last Guardian finally escaping from development hell, and big crowd pleasers like Pokemon, Shantae, and Titanfall 2 coming out. However, I haven't gotten to most of those games yet, so while the PS4 looks good in my shopping cart, the games I actually played this year feel kinda dwarfed, just in comparison. Almost all these games feel very bittersweet to me. While a lot of them are really fun, they have simple surface problems that get under my skin. It was a year where many of the things I bought turned out to be something I wasn't expecting. Not everything on this list came out this year, it's just a list of impressions I got from games I happened to pick up, in a vaguely top 10 order, except not really that strict on which ones I prefer over the others. That's the formalities. Here we go. Number 10, Strider. So this year I bought a bunch of different platformers and Metroidvanias to fill the void left by Dark Souls 3, which was too linear for me. I was hoping Strider would be a Metroidvania with fast fights and big jumps, judging by this swipe attack that goes as fast as you can press the button. I guess I got what I wanted, but the world was confusing to navigate, probably because the character moves so fast and you can't memorize any landmarks. I want to explore, but this is more like checking marks off of a map. The fights and platforming are still pretty good though. I was a little peeved that challenge mode takes away some upgrades, but whatever. As long as I got this laser dash thing, I'm feeling good. Maybe I'd like it more if I unlocked everything, but that means navigating the open world and, well, maybe later. Number 9, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. I genuinely really liked Shantae and the Pirate's Curse in my first playthrough, but it doesn't really lend itself for another loop, at least in my opinion. I don't really like having all my upgrades taken away, and I don't like upgrades like this late game triple jump they give you all at once, which trivializes the rest of the game. That said, Shine Sparks are always fun, especially when you get to throw a bunch of other different mobility tools into the mix. Number 8, Shovel Knight. This news just breaking. Shovel Knight is a fun video game. I was hesitant to jump in because it looked a little generic retro nostalgia-y, and I've kind of already done that kind of stuff. But turns out there's no real substitute for great level design with a pogo jump. I wasn't all that interested in another loop on this one either though, just because everything's a little simple. But I'm very excited for whatever comes next. Though, that vibe's been around, I guess. Number 7, Harmonite. The fourth item on the list, and the first not to start with an S. Technically I picked up Harmonite before the new year, but I only really got into it during the endgame. Nothing too new for a rhythm game, just listen to the song and press the buttons at the right time, with the occasional, surprisingly intense, Simon Says segment. But what I like so much about this game is that it has this one kind of subtle mechanic that allows you to get beyond perfect scores. By holding down attack, you can get your guy to charge up a 2-point jazzy hit. It makes the puzzle more open-ended because you can creatively sneak in power notes wherever you can. Though this is pretty difficult. Plus, some of the music is pretty okay. It doesn't really get going until you get double speed on the challenge courses though. Number 6, Fire Emblem Conquest. While I really like Fire Emblem, I couldn't help but feel disappointed in Conquest. There's just a lot of really hard stretches that are more about sending in big units than it is about locking down bottlenecks and making walls dues. Not to mention that, just once I got my team where I wanted it, I hit the end of the game and had to start over. There's also a lot of levels I just feel like the game's cheating, like chapters 19 and 20 where you can't block off units efficiently, which effectively devolves the game to just which team has the bigger numbers. I have the most fun in this game when I'm not on the controls, just strategically shipping my comrades to make the ultimate super baby army with the ultimate synergized super baby military maneuvers, which is a normal thing for a human being to say. Still have to hit up Birthright and Revelations. We'll report back with new vibes and new playthroughs next year. Probably. No promises. Number 5, Super Hot. Super Hot. Super Hot was a really radical demo and a really radical game. I just really don't like this meta computer dom thingy. I like the cheesy goof the demo had, but this one just wasn't subtle enough. It's hard to get meta now that a lot of games have done that really well. If you want to make a big deal about how I can't close the game, don't forget I can just Control-Alt-Delete. Not only did I prove that I was in control, thus ruining the vibe, but I also lost progress by doing so because the game didn't save. I just wish the game noticed that I outsmarted it, as long as we're being meta. The demo did it better where there were secret messages and stuff. Story aside, the gameplay is still the best thing ever. There's some Matrix-esque moments where you see something going bad, and you know you don't have enough time for the movements you need, so you gotta use that bullet time wisely. Seconds become nanoseconds, and you slice bullets in half, and everything is just super amazing, as long as the story is, like, on the down low. Though the glitchy aesthetic is really nice. Number 4, Pokemon Sun. That's stupid. Pokemon Sun is Pokemon, and I like Pokemon, so it's good. I like the new designs, which there were more, but whatever. I like the new story mode, short and cute, how I like it. I don't feel like it was as good as Kalos was in terms of expansion though. Talonflame, AG/, Avalugg basically had pre-prepared strategies to them, but none of these new guys give me such instant inspiration. Maybe Mimikyu, maybe Muck. Give me a minute, I'll come up with something. Z-moves replace Megas, which I think I like, but still don't really like sacrificing an item slot for an attack. Especially these flashy ones that are just big damage. I really like Z-Destiny Bong though. If you hit me, you die, and you have to direct your attack at me. I guess I just like moves with ifs and buts in them though. Number 3, God Hand. Since all the good Platinum games are still in development, God Hand has served as my crutch for the off-season. Despite the janky dodge, the janky combo customization, and the janky story, the game proved to be really fun. It's really easy to break, but it balances out by being super unforgiving. As much as I wish I could just lock onto an enemy, I kinda like how awkward everything is. Except for the dynamic difficulty. If I want to bang my head against a challenge, don't make it easier for me. I don't just want to win, I want to overcome. Anyways, out of all the character action games I've played thus far, this one probably has the most instantly satisfying combos. You can just juggle people forever by cancelling everything into a dodge. This 2-button infinite is really satisfying to pull off, though I'd like to figure out how to do more flashy stuff to impress people watching me play. Number 2, Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 is a game that I thought I would end the year more peeved about, but maybe because of the recent DLC or maybe because I just can't seem to put it down, it ended up really high on the list. The world is maddeningly linear. You can do a few things out of order, but not really. There's a fork in the road at Crucifixion Woods, but since one is a dead end with a key and the other's a dead end with a locked door, the difference is kinda whatever. It's such a clear downgrade from Dark Souls 2 where there was a lot of one-used keys that could clear multiple different roadblocks. Less of an adventure now. I was kinda hoping that when I found the Nameless King I'd be able to use his head as a substitute for another Lord of Cinder. That way there could be reason to play through the game differently for different types of characters, but nah. Even if you man up to Dancer as a low level, you'll end up at a dead end at the archives until you kill all the other lords. So you only get a little bit of loot. There's not even multiple entrances to zones like in other games, it's such a hallway. Can't help but keep playing though, because the gameplay's never been better. Cool weapons with cool skills, baddies who can be parried and backstabbed, and long boss fights that waste your time with unskippable easy phases. Oops, got negative again. These are supposed to be recommendations. I like these games. Oop. Here's one I really like, number 1 on the list. Street Fighter V is not the most intense fighting game I've ever played, but because I'm fast enough to keep up, I feel more of the pressure. Close matches get incredibly desperate because life bars and V-trigger reset between rounds, so winner take all. Since everything is, at some level, punishable, every button press matters, which is especially satisfying after seeing friends get away with dumb stuff in Smash. 5 kinda has become the vanilla of what I want out of every fighting game, but at the same time the intensity also makes it hard to just sit down and play, at least for me. I want to train myself to get faster so that I can keep up in the actually intense fighting games, and this will be a useful stepping stone. Don't know if that will actually end up happening, but I still have plenty of fun just trying to hold on to my ranking. And that's my 2016, solid games with simple flaws. For 2017, I'm foreseeing a similar vibe on a larger scale since I'm going to be picking up a PS4 within the week. Between the Overcooked 15 and Last Guardian and the weirdo games like Nier and The Witness, I'm intrigued with tailored expectations. And that's only going to be the first few months, though I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'll share vibes on all that after a lap around the sun. Until then...